Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Well, folks, this is a day that's going to empower you, inspire you, and change your life. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast. And I want to tell you about today's show right at the top. The show today is about a woman who started as a musician, a music major in Howard University, and went on to become one of the greatest flautists on the planet, and then did not stop there. She also has gone on to become a best-selling author and a music business, record business executive, and just has continued to expand. She understood that you must expand or become expendable, and she did not want to become expendable. So she continued to expand her skill sets and has created an empire. So my guest today is the one and only world-renowned jazz flautist, Sherry Winston. We're going to talk to her in a few minutes. But I am starting this show as I begin every show. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon me. I can't refuse it. I did not seek it. No, I did not choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, oh, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be on with you. Another opportunity as we celebrate this great time of life that we are still here in the land of the living. And so I start with that minute, God's minute, and I celebrate that minute. And then I take a moment to give God some glory, to thank him for life and strength and health, to thank him for still being here, because there are people who had planned to be here to do things. They had a list of things that they were going to do, but they didn't wake up. And I woke up today, and you woke up today. So be grateful. So I give God glory. I thank him for life and strength and health. I thank him for every opportunity. I'm grateful for this show being the number one self-help show in the country. I'm grateful for my daily syndicated show on stations around the country. I'm grateful for my books of bestsellers. I'm grateful for all the companies who are now calling saying, we got to have you now that COVID is over. We got to have you come and speak for us. I'm grateful for that. But most of all, I'm grateful for life. I don't take it for granted. And I give God glory for life and strength and health and friends. And then I am grateful for our sponsor, who has become more than a sponsor, has become a partner, who is committed to our community, committed to people, committed to families, and committed to growing wealth in our community. Truist is a company that has made a commitment. Take 2 great banks, BB&T and SunTrust. You put them together, you create a greater bank. And they named the bank Truist Bank. And they have one principle. They are built on caring for others. And when you start with care, you build a different kind of bank, Truist. Well, my guest today is the world-renowned flautist, Sherry Winston. She's performed at the White House. She has appeared on all sorts of television shows, NBC, BET, all sorts of television shows. She's been featured in the New York Times, Ebony, Essence, Black Enterprise, so many more. She's performed with Stevie Wonder, Misty Copeland, the first African-American principal dancer with the American Ballet Theater. She's opened for John Legend, Gregory Porter, Vanessa Williams, Maxwell, Foreplay, Patty Austin, Jonathan Butler, and the list goes on and on and on. She's performed also for corporate clients. She has many top Fortune 500 companies, including Aetna, Accenture, Adidas, AT&T, Bristol Myers Squibb, Burger King, and that list goes on and on and on and on. She's performed all over the world, and I'm grateful that I was able to reconnect with her. She's also worked as the National Director of Jazz Promotions at Columbia Records, Arista Records, GRP, and Elektra Asylum Records. And she owns her production company, and she'll tell you more about all her other activities. This is a woman who had a God-given gift that she then worked on. You know, Michael Jordan said, talent is one thing, ability takes work. Well, she did the work. She continues to do the work. My friend, Sherry Winston. Sherry Winston, so glad to have you as my guest today. Thank you for being with me.
Well, I am so grateful to be here, and thank you for reaching out and offering me this wonderful opportunity. I appreciate it.
Okay, tell us the rest of the story. I gave him a little bit about you, you know, just an overview, but tell us the thumbnail sketch. I gave him the thumbnail. Why don't you tell us where you came from, how you got to Howard, and then how you created this career and this business. You got a business that's just booming. Please.
Well, I started in junior high school, as many kids do, playing the flute. I always say the flute selected me. I didn't select the flute. I was a bit of a tomboy and I wanted to play drums, and they lined us up alphabetically to be fair. So I was at the end of the list with a name like Winston. By the time they got to me, the drums were gone, the trumpet was gone. There were two instruments left, a flute and a tuba. And I looked at the tuba, this giant big thing that was rusty and sitting in a corner. And I said, oh no, I'm not playing that. Whatever the flute is, I have no idea what the flute is. I'll take the flute. So we sort of picked each other. That's how I look at that.
Where were you? Where was this? What part of the world?
This was in Queens.
Oh, in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Queens, New York, in Elmhurst. And I had zero ability to play that flute. Dr. Jolley, I swear to goodness. I mean, a lot of people don't believe this story, but this is true. I could not get a basic sound out of the instrument. And they gave us just the head joints.
Right.
Get a sound. And I was blowing and blowing. Nothing was coming out. I was so embarrassed. So went to the teacher after class. And see, this is what makes a difference. And I said, I am not going to be the worst one in the class. I'm not going to be the last one in the class. Please allow me to take the flute home. I am going to practice it and learn how to make a sound. And the teacher said, fine, take the flute home. And every day I took that flute home and finally got a sound out of it. And then, started to work my fingers, even though I didn't know what I was doing. But the very beginning, the basics of at least knowing how to hold a flute, how to get some kind of sound out of it. And I guess I grew it from there. And I've had different obstacles in my life in high school. By the time I got to high school, I had private lessons. My parents splurged for me. And I had worked very hard. And when the teacher saw me, he made me last flute. There were about, 15 flutists. So I went up to him and I said, why should I be last flute? You have never heard me play. And of course, this had a lot to do with it.
Right. Your color. That's right. Yeah.
Predominantly Caucasian school. And he said, well, if you think you're hot stuff, you can challenge the person next to you and then work your way up. Well, I did just that. He gave us some music to play and I took it home and practiced it. The other kid did not. So I moved up to the whole band, to the front of the band. And there was one person that was like a senior. He was much better than I was. So I was very happy sitting next to him. And that's kind of the story of my life. a lot of people think that I had this natural gift that God gave me. God gave me this much talent and said, now you do the work.
Hold up, stop. A little bit of talent, a smidgen of talent, but taking a little bit of talent and then adding a lot of hard work can make big things happen.
And this is true of all of my sports activities. Everything in my life, I've really had to put a lot of work in. You know, you might be a natural athlete. I was not a natural athlete. I mean, I ran my bike into a fence and, you know, tore my face up. I mean, the first time I had a bike. So I did all kinds of crazy stuff as a kid, but I was determined. And this is a lesson for people. Be determined, whatever it is that you want to do, that you are not going to be the last one. You're not
I love
be
that.
The worst one. You're going to be the best one. And how do you do that? You work when other people are watching television. You work. You go to work.
Woo! I love that. I love that. You work while others are watching television. You working. All right. And when you get together, you're going to win. And how many people say they want to win, but they're not willing to do the work? You must do the work if you want to win. Well, you went on from there at high school and you went on to Howard University and you graduated from Howard. Now, did you launch into the music business right after that, or how did you become this well-known flautist?
Unfortunately, I did not. Again, what did I just say? I have to work at everything.
Yes.
I had no idea how to earn a living as a musician. So I knew I had to get out of my mother's house and be an adult and get my own apartment. Now, how was I going to do that? I had to find some kind of job, right?
Right.
So there was a job listing in the New York Times for social workers. And I had taken a couple of social work classes in Howard just because I was interested in the field. I love people. I love helping people. So I went and I took the exam to be what they call a caseworker.
Yes.
And I was supposed to work with welfare clients.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman that was interviewing me took one look at me. I looked like a little baby. I really did. Mm-hmm. And he said, oh, no, I'm not throwing you to the lines. We're going to have you work with older people. And I started working in senior centers. Wow. And that was the beginning of my career. Then it was up to me to try to figure out, how do I get out of here and find concerts and jobs and things where I'm playing my instrument.
Yes.
And that's a long, involved story.
Well, bottom line is you did it. You worked. I like this thing that I heard recently. Sometimes you got to do the job to fund your dreams. And you do the job so that you can fund the dream, and the dream will eventually take over because you were willing to survive and then go on to thrive. Well, you at some point launched this full-time music career, and now you're multiple CDs, albums, awards into this career. How do you maintain it now? You've been doing this for how many? You've been professionally performing for how many? Over 30 years. I mean, we met up probably 30 years ago. I don't know what one tour I was on, and we met, and you were performing. You were fabulous. How have you maintained it? How do you sustain it? How do you keep it going?
It's called discipline. It's called getting up in the morning, working out so that my brain is, tingling and tuned up, and my endorphins are going, and I'm ready to start the day.
Yes.
And I'm at my desk by a certain time every morning.
Wow.
And I sit there all day long. I might get up and get a piece of fruit or something like that. I work out of my house. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. And then
you're smart enough to be able to do that, because Les Brown said something. He said, you want to keep your overhead over your head. Go ahead.
And then at 5:00 on the dot, I stop. I turn off all of my phones. I turn off every device in my house, and I practice at least for an hour.
Wow.
And I do all of my studies that I learned at Howard and beyond. I play Bach and Beethoven and Mozart, and then I do performances to my own tracks that I've recorded, and make believe that I'm at a concert and I'm playing for people, so that I really put my heart and soul into it. And that's what I do every day.
Okay, let me see this. You are a world-renowned flautist. You are a flautist who has been called one of the best, and yet you still practice.
You have to practice because these.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break because I'm telling you, folks, this is going to blow your mind. We're going to be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and support for the Dr. Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show comes from Truist Bank. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Home ownership is a blessing. That's right, it's a blessing. And the ability to build equity, value in a home that you own can be the foundation of creating wealth. Wealth that can be passed on for generations. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Well, Truist can help you buy a home with a low down payment. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about the options available to you. Reach them by calling 855-257-4040, 855-257-4040. They really care. You can also visit truist.com/homebuyer, truist.com/homebuyer to calculate your mortgage payment. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. Remember, visit truist.com/homebuyer or call 855-257-4040. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast. Around the world, you can hear the podcast. Wherever you are in the world, if you're listening on the radio network, that's great. And if you're listening on the podcast, that's great. Just let me know where you are. If you're not in the United States, send me an email. Say, hey, I'm in Brussels. I'm in Japan. I'm in South Africa. info@williejolly.com. info@willie, W-I-L-L-I-E, Jolly, Jolley.com. If you send me an email and say I'm in Southern Juanita's country, I'm going to send you a little digital gift, a gift that will bless you and your family, just so I know that we got international folks who want them to know we appreciate them and we welcome them. Also, I want everybody to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, my website, and get some of the free gifts and goodies we have there. And they will bless you and your family as well. winwithwillie.com. Well, my special guest is world-renowned flautist and entrepreneur extraordinaire, Sherry Winston. Okay, Sherry, you said that you work work every day at your desk, even though you are well known, you're well regarded, but you're still working. And then at 5 o'clock you stop, and then you practice your instrument. You work on your skills, even though you are you're one of the best. You're still bettering your best. And tell us more about this mindset to do that.
I don't think we can take anything in this life for granted, whether it's your health, whether it's your mental stability, whether it's your so-called talent that you've developed or you're nurturing. You must work on everything. And there was a speaker that has a saying about sharpening the saw. And
That's
you know
right.
what I'm talking
That's
about,
right. That's right. That's right.
So in order to sharpen that saw, you've got to work on multiple things: your mind, what you're reading, and everybody should be reading something, not just watching television to find the news. Look at the Washington Post, the New York Times, the San Francisco paper, or LA Times, whatever is your local paper, but your good local paper, read it. Keep up with what's going on in the world. Train your mind to read a book constantly. I love biographies or autobiographies, and I'm always learning about other people, artists, and what they're doing. And it's spiritually, go to church or watch church online or do your own if you don't believe in a formalized system of prayer. Do something that will lift you spiritually.
Yes.
And then physically, make sure that you're doing something to keep the body in good shape. Don't allow yourself to just, become overweight and toxic to yourself. Make sure that you're in good spirit, mind, and body.
Amen. Now I want to bring up some of the things that you talked about when we were on the phone, just chatting, that made me so intrigued. You have built this business and continue to build the business by growing your network and connecting with your network. You talked about some of the things you do just on a daily basis of calling people, connecting with people. And I want you to tell people some of the principles and the programs and the processes you use to stay booked. You're constantly booked as an artist, but you say you're not because you're waiting for the phone to ring. You are being proactive. Let's talk about that, please.
Willie, you have to be proactive in this business. Unless you're Beyonce or Jay-Z, no one is going to be tearing up your phone lines trying to get to you. You must reach out to people. You have to reach out to the little person, the big person, everybody in between, people that you've met. And I say everybody that not everybody. I mean, you have to use some common sense, of course, but sure. People that are in a position, whether they belong to a women's group, a man's group, whether they're active with their sorority, fraternity. There's so many organizations, Black organizations across the country, that you should know someone at these organizations and call them, not to say, oh, by the way, or can you hire me? Is there a possible concert or an event coming up? No, that's not what you do. You call them to say hello, see how they're doing, how they're feeling. If I have old-fashioned Rolodexes, I have a whole cabinet full of Rolodexes. And on the Rolodex, I take notes about what people have told me. If they're a golfer, they're a scuba diver, they're a skier, maybe they have 2 kids that they talk about all the time, whatever it is. So I might call you and say, so Willie, how's your golf game going? Where did you play last? You're going to start talking about golf. And I'll say, well, you're not going to believe this shot that I made. I was at Richter Park last week. And, oh, what a shot. It was a killer. I hit the ball up into the air. It was like right off the tee and it went on the green. And then I'm going to go on about that. Or if I'm skiing or doing something else, I'm never going to ask you for a concert or a job or to hook me up with somebody ever. I am going to concentrate on you, who you are as a human being, and formulate some kind of relationship with you. When I get off the phone, we probably won't even talk about my performances, my being an artist, I'm looking for work, none of that. Eventually, over time, if something comes up, you will call me or text me or email me and say, my organization is doing this luncheon in 2 months, and we're starting to take samples from different artists. Why don't you send this to this person? And that's how you get your work.
And that's called top of mind. Okay. You're top of mind by the fact that you took the time to talk to them. You took the time to reach out to them, to have a relationship with them. And when the opportunity comes up, you're top of their mind. You're top of their mind. I just thought of, I just talked to her. I should call her. I should. And literally that is almost what happened here with us getting on this show, because you did a big concert in
Barbados.
And my dear friend Doreen Vale, who I was on tour with and who would just wreck the house every time she would open her mouth singing, I heard she was going to be on it, and I saw the playbill and it was you and her, and I said, oh my God, I know it's going to be incredible. I wish I were available to go over there and hear it. But anyway, I talked to Doreen. She said it was just a great event, and she said Sherry Winston was marvelous. She was just fantastic. And I called and said, hey, how are you, Sherry? And we chatted, and as we're chatting, when she started talking about the networking, the taking the notes on the names of the people, their families, their children, I said, oh my goodness. every entrepreneur needs to hear this. They need to hear about how important it is to touch bases with people, one, to connect with people, and don't just take a business card and put it in a stack. Take a business card and reach out to that person. I believe that success is a contact sport. And if you don't contact them, you lose. Come on, somebody. So you've got to contact that person, make a connection with them, and then you can start to have relationship, and that relationship will help you to grow. Now, we all know.
Really, yes. I just want to add one little thing here.
Please.
I also put the person on a database. I have a 5,000 person database through Constant Contact, so that I can, if I'm going to Chicago, if I'm going to Washington, D.C., Baltimore, wherever, I can contact people in that area and let them know that I'm coming and all the details of my event that I'm going to be doing. And also, just in general, let them know what's going on. I have a new CD coming out. I've got a new single coming out. I'm going to Barbados to perform, whatever it is, just to keep people in the loop. Again, yes. Top of mind. So you cannot be not active all the time. So people, now you don't want to be a pain in the neck. And there's a very thin line between sending out too many emails, too many posts or whatever, and not enough. And right. Everybody has to find that thin line of what's tolerable with people.
But you must at least touch bases with them and let them know.
You have to.
And
right.
that's how you
even in a passive way through a mailing list of letting them know what you're doing because they're seeing it. And sometimes I run into people in the street and they say, "Oh, I see you're going to blah, blah, blah." And I'm shocked that they actually read the email. They know where I'm going to be next, or they know what I'm doing, professionally, otherwise. And it's fantastic. People are aware of what's going on. You just have to make the attempt to reach to them.
So I'm going to play a little bit of one of your songs right now from a new CD, and I believe it's called Regatta.
Yes.
Regatta. And we're going to play a little bit of this as we go out of this segment. Folks, this is some of the music from Sherry Winston. Wow. What incredible music from Sherry Winston. I'm going to tell you when we come back from the break how you can access her music and how you can also access her if you need her to speak or you need her information or you want some of the other items she offers. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. We're going to take a quick break for station identification. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast around the country, around the world. And I'm grateful. My special guest is Sherry Winston, jazz flautist extraordinaire, businesswoman extraordinaire. And we were talking about how she built her business, started as a social worker after she came out of Howard University, but then she launched her dream. That social work was a way to fund her dream, but then she launched her dream to be able to perform full time. And she's been doing that for many years now. How many CDs do you have out now, Sherry?
I've got 6 CDs and 3 singles that have been released nationally and internationally.
And so where can people get access to your music? We just played some of it. Where can they get your music if they want to go and get some of it?
They can go to my website, sherrywinston.com. They can email me and I can call them. We can do the Square over the phone. They can put it on their credit card. They can send me a check. There are many ways to get my music. I'm on all of the platforms. Sirius, I'm on Sirius, not Sirius. I'm talking to you on Sirius, and I've got Sirius on the mind. Apple Music, you can go to something like Pandora or any of the other platforms and say, play Sherry Winston. Hey, Google. Hey, Siri, play Sherry Winston. And you can hear my music.
All right. I'm going to go in my office and say, Alexa, play Sherry Winston and get some of that Sherry Winston music. For her name is Sherry Winston. Go to her website, SHERRY Winston, WINSTON. Now, but that's just one of her income streams. Okay. We found that wise business people have multiple income streams and they grow multiple ways of creating revenue. Another way she has created revenue is she's a best-selling author of cookbooks. Now you got to tell us how this came to be. How did this flautist start a business with cookbooks?
Well, when I was 8 years old, my mom was a working mom, and she would call home and say, Sherry, you're going to start to prepare dinner. And I said, Mom, I don't know how to prepare dinner. And she'd say, okay, we're making pork chops tonight. Okay, now here's what I want you to do. And she would go through all the steps on the phone, and I would listen to her and then get everything ready so that when she and my dad got home, most of the dinner would be made. And she did that with a number of dishes. So I loved cooking. I really did. And nurturing, because when you cook for people and you feed people, you're nurturing a special part of their body. And if you do it in the proper way where you're cooking healthy, then you're adding something to their life. So I've always loved to cook. I've cooked my entire life. Some people say, oh, I hate to cook. I'll go buy something in the deli or whatever. And you're really killing yourself because you can't control the amount of fat or salt in your food if you're constantly buying stuff and bringing it in your house. So through the years, I just would write down a lot of my recipes. And I got it in my mind. I played at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. I had a whole month that I was going to be there. My whole band was there. We all had our individual condos. And I thought, you know what? I have always wanted to write a cookbook. I've got all of this time all day long. I don't play until the evening, and I'm only playing for an hour. I'm playing for Champion Paper Company. Why don't I put this time to good use? And I started freehand writing this book at the pool. Wow. And it started out as an erotic cookbook, how to entertain someone in your home and what would go on during the time that this person came to your house. And I had a ball writing this. And I did a lot of it, enough to be able to send some of it like a proposal to different publishers. And most of the publishers wouldn't deal with me. They said, you must have an agent. So I started sending it to agents. The agent said, what do you know about anything? You're not a professional chef. You don't have a degree. You didn't go to a culinary school. And all of this negative stuff about why I can't do what I want to do. So I said, you know what? I'm going to concentrate on being a flutist and performing and forget about it. So I took this big manuscript, it was this big, put it down next to my desk. And as God will do, he tapped me on the shoulder one day. This was years later, and said, look at that manuscript. And I looked over at it and I said, oh my God, that represents a lot of nights being up late, writing this book. On the weekends, if I was on a plane, I'd be writing the book. Let me do something with this. So I hired an editor from Essence Magazine. I hired my photographer that did all of my photography for my CDs. I hired a woman that I met in the British Virgin Islands when I was sailing there, a sister, to do the layout of the book and all of the graphics, Pam Rice. And I just put my whole team together. And I said to everybody, I will not ask you for a discount on your rate. You tell me what your rate is. I will pay you. You might not get paid when you want to get paid. You might not get paid right away, right? Because I'm earning my money as a musician, a working musician. If I don't have any gigs, you're not getting paid, period. Right. So if you have that understanding, please don't be calling me in the middle of the night and say, where's my money? Right. So everybody had that understanding. They all agreed to it. We put out this beautiful book. And when it finally was finished and I found a printer, I had interviewed people. I drove up to Boston. I drove all over the place looking at people's work, different printers. Finally picked one, King Publishing. And when that book came and the postman brought it to my garage, I sat in my garage and I cried for about 10 minutes.
Wow.
Because it was like the culmination of a lot of hard work and a lot of money out the window. So much so that I was almost broke, to be honest with you. I paid everybody what they wanted, but people really wanted to do a good job. They were happy. Sure. And that's what I wanted. I wanted people working with me that were happy, not upset because you're being cheap with me. No, pay people what they want, what they're worth.
Yes.
And within, I would say, a year, I had made the money back. I had friends that would allow me to have book parties at their house. I would perform, and I have a CD in the back of the book. Called For Lovers Only, and it's all mellow music that when you're entertaining someone, you can follow the recipes. You can look at my advice about how to tell if someone's really interested in you, or if you've been married 25 years, what you can do differently to keep your husband and wife interested.
Yes.
All the little fun things you can do with that person. And then you can put on my CD while you're serving this meal. And it's all mellow music. There's nothing raucous in it. It's nice, what I call a bed of sound that will just be an underbelly of your evening. And it's there, but it's not intrusive. You can talk.
I like that, the eroticism of the music, as well as the thinking about the fact that there's some intimacy that is generated. Oh, I many people know my wife and I have a best-selling marriage book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And we've been married going on 40 years. And wow, the intimacy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And the intimacy, we still date. And and we like to talk about food and have dates at restaurants, and she cooks. I now cook. I started cooking during COVID, and when I was shut down in the house, I learned to cook. So, there is a lot of great value here. Now, where can they get this book, Sherry Winston? Where
they
can
can
they get
also go to my website, and it's there. And they can also, if they have problems negotiating any of that, just email me at sherrywinstonband, BAND, @gmail.com. And I promise to answer you, and we will be in touch, and I will make sure that you're able to get the book.
Look, this is a real businesswoman. She's a hands-on businesswoman. She doesn't say, my assistant will be in touch with you. I will be in touch with you if you want one of our CDs, sherrywinstonband @gmail. If you want one of my books, sherrywinstonband@gmail.com. If you want me to come and perform for your organization, your event, sherrywinstonband@gmail.com. This is a woman who makes it happen. She could say, I'm sending it to my team, but she does this because that's how she's built her business, creating relationships, talking to people, developing those relationships and nurturing those relationships. That is why Sherry Winston is still top of the line, still in demand after years of being in the circuit or being on stage or being a well-known entity. We're going to play another one of her songs from her CD. This one is a little more moving and grooving, and we're going to play that, and we're going to be back in a short while, and we're going to talk more about how she will help you build your future by living your dreams. Here we go with this song from Sherry Winston. Very good. We're doing good. You're doing great. Doing great.
You are some interviewer. That's all I can say. I can see why you've gotten where you've gotten all of these years.
You know, it has been developed. When I started this thing, man, I mean, I didn't think I could. I didn't know how I was going to do it because I was used to doing 1-minute motivational messages on WHUR. Howard. And I was doing these 1-minute motivational messages for a number of years. And then somebody from Radio 1 had a XM channel. And my friend who was a senior exec there said, you know, we're looking for some talent for our XM channel. And I recommended you, and it would be an hour show. And I said, what am I going to do for an hour? I can do 1 minute, but I don't know what I'm going to do for an hour. What do you mean? He said, just. But what happened? You'll have, you know, back then we had phone callers. And I said, okay, great. And he said, you can talk to people on the phone. But what happened though one day was the phone didn't ring. I mean, I'm talking and I'm sweating. Well, what do y'all do now? And I had to figure out how to keep this going if nobody called in. And over the years, I was at that channel for about 7-8 years. Wow. And we took phone calls. And then we started getting such great guests like Sherry Winston, all these great guests. And some of the callers who were calling had stupid stuff. They calling for stupid stuff. And I just said one day, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not taking callers anymore. I get these great guests. And I don't want to have stupid stuff mess up this flow of thinking. I know
your energy, your positive energy.
Yeah, some of the stuff was just so stupid. And so I stopped taking callers. And then when I moved to the new channel, 141, they didn't have the capacity to take callers because they were pre-recording all the shows. I said, this is perfect. And then I was able to get my own studio, and now I do everything here. But
that is a beautiful studio, by the way.
Thank you. So 18 years of being on air. I hope by now I'm pretty good at interviewing folks and getting ideas out of their brains into the radio. Okay, here we go. Wow. What a great piece from Sherry Winston. Look, we're going to come right back after this break. And you know what? We're going to talk more about how to build your future, your finances, and do it with fun. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is still yet to come. We'll be right back.
A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the T to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude.
It's about your attitude. 1 8-letter word that has such a big impact on your success or your failure. Attitude. Not just about a disposition, but also about how you see the world, how you see life. Do you see it from a negative perspective, or do you see it from a positive perspective? It's your choice. It's about your attitude. See, my friend Keith Harrell wrote a book called Attitude is Everything, and he wasn't lying. Attitude truly is everything. It's about how you view things, how you perceive things, and how you go after things. Can you control the time? No. Can you control the weather? No. Can you control what other people say or do? No. You can only control you and your attitude. And your attitude to life determines your altitude in life. It's about your attitude.
It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. attitude. It's all about your attitude.
Now, Dennis Brown says that the only difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude. See, stuff is going to happen. Life is going to happen. Change is going to happen. Someone once said in life, you either got a problem, you just left a problem, or you're on your way to a problem. That's life. But you got a choice. You got a choice how you perceive and how you respond to life. See? Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and podcast. And I'm grateful for your taking time out of your schedule to listen. And I want to also say I'm grateful for our sponsor, Truist Bank, who has made a commitment to this show. You know, many people are concerned about getting a home and that they can call their own. And Truist Bank can help you achieve that goal. The first step, the first smart step to buying a home is knowing how much you can afford. A Truist mortgage professional can help you understand that in just a few minutes. Connecting with a lender first helps you to be more confident in your search. Truist offers loans that can help you become a homeowner with a low down payment. So here's what I want you to do. Visit Truist.com home buyer. Truist.com/homebuyer. That's TRUIST. And to see current rates, get a sample mortgage payment, use their calculator, and find resources to help you buy a home. You can talk to a Truist mortgage professional about your loan options and also about the ways that you can get financing. After applying, you can check your status at the Truist Mortgage Progress Tracker. And Truist is an equal housing lender. See, when you start with care, you really do build a different kind of bank, Truist Bank. Well, I mentioned Truist. They are my partners. They are just a corporate giant. And Sherry Winston is my guest, and she plays for many of the corporate giants around the world. Fortune 100 companies bring her in for their big events. Tell us about that, Sherry. I mean, how did that happen?
Well, it happened because corporations is where the money is, correct?
Yes.
And their checks are not going to bounce.
No.
And when you're trying to pay your mortgage from Truist Bank, you want to make sure that that mortgage payment is going to go through and you're not going to be embarrassed.
That's correct.
So by me working with a lot of corporations, I knew that money would be good, the checks would be good. I could count on my band to come properly dressed in a suit and tie. I would ask the corporate partner the way they wanted us to dress, what the theme of the dinner or reception or concert, whatever it happened to be, how would you like to see us dress? Some people, wanted us casual. Some wanted us in suit and ties and,
yes,
nice dresses or whatever. And I knew they would know the music and be able to execute it properly, not coming in 20 minutes late and all wrong and trying to, not have the proper clothes on.
But here's what I want to get. How did you first think about, okay, this is a place, an area I think I could do well in. And then how did you make it happen? Because so many people think about things, but they never make it happen. They never execute. What did you do to get all this?
I will go back to God again.
Okay.
Because God put a woman in my life, Iris Randall. She's with God now. She's no longer with us. And she was like a mentor to me. And I went to her and some other Black females. There were 4 of us that used to have breakfast once a month, and we would bring our business problems. And I was saying to her, I'm starting to have problems with booking and, here's what's going on. And I could really use some more business. And she said, I want you to concentrate on Black vice presidents at major corporations. And I said, what are you talking about? I had no idea. And she said, they have events, they have dinners. Sometimes it might be the National Urban League, and this corporation will sponsor 10 tables, or they will sponsor the entertainment, or they will put a large amount of money up, and then the not-for-profit organization can spend the money where they see fit, and they'll be able to hire you. So she gave me a few names. There are a couple of other ladies in the room that gave me a couple of other names. Then I would read the New York Times. I would pick out names and I would sort of, put my Black dar out there, and I could tell sometimes who was Black. And I'd say, okay, let me just call Con Edison, somebody like a New York utility company, and find out who is in their minority. And you had to be able to tell what the minority department was. Sometimes it would be called community relations, or it would be called a liaison to the community. And you had to read between the lines. What does that mean? That means the Black community. So I could speak to the operator or the person answering the phone and say, who is your person in charge of marketing for the community? And they would give me the person's name, their email address. You'd be surprised at information.
So let me make sure I get this, because I don't want people to lose this. First, she had mentors. I always tell you folks how important it is to get mentors. Somebody in your community, somebody in your network who can mentor you and give you wise counsel. Next, they met and we did what we call a mastermind.
That's it, exactly.
They said, let's talk about ideas. Let's talk about how we can solve problems. And once you have 1 or 2 or 3 people on the same problem working together, it creates a cosmic new mind. This ideas that would have never come up individually, but when you put them together, it creates this powerful new mind, and ideas will pop up. And then the third thing she did, she found a way to reach the corporations through a very small niche, community affairs, minority affairs, whatever you want to. And she started there. But then, because she was good, because when she got there weren't just Black people there. There were all colors of people, Asian, Indian, Caucasian. All of these people heard her play. She's fabulous. And then they started hiring her and for their events. It starts by working. And I just want y'all to hear. Okay, I want to get to this question because this is an important question. We do it at every interview, Sherry. You went to Howard University, so you're coming to town and and Dee and I come and pick you up, and we go to lunch, and then we take you over to Howard University to a business class of young wannabes. I want to be successful like Sherry Winston. I want to start a business. I want to create my own publishing brand. I want to do all the things she's done. Tell them some, you got us. If you're going to be successful, here's some, you got us.
You must work on yourself, self-discipline. Spiritually work on yourself, mentally work on yourself, physically work on yourself. And when I say disciplined, you must map out a way of getting to where you want to do, where you want to go. So you've got to be at some kind of desk at some point during the day, and you have got to sit down and pick up that phone and do the work, or do your marketing, however you do your marketing. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. The way I do it might be different from the way you do it, but just concentrating on social media is not going to do it. There may be people looking at Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok and everything else, but how many really TikTok sensations do you have that are Black? Let's face it. So you've got to go where your market is. You've got to discover and think about, who am I going to appeal to? Where is my talent taking me? And then you've got to be disciplined to do that every day, not once in a while, not once a week, not once a month. Every day you have got to spend time promoting yourself, letting people know who you are, where you're located. You've got to reach out to the public. How you do that, there's so many different ways. And that's why I love to do my music business seminar, because I can really lay out.
What? Tell me about the music business seminar, please.
Okay, my music business seminar, I started writing this with a good friend of yours, helped me to just lay this out. George Frazier, the speaker. And he sat down with me and he said, think about this, 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 and this. And from that, I sort of expanded to where I am now. Who is my target market? Just like my friend said, Black vice presidents or Black officials it could be the Links, the AKAs, the Deltas, the girlfriends, whatever groups you want to go after. The Boule is a wonderful group of people. Their wives and girlfriends are the Akusai. All of these people give events. So for me, that was my target market. Wow. You've got to figure out who is your target market, who's going to hire you, what are you trying to sell? Be very clear on that, and realize it's not all about you. It's about the person that you're speaking to. Concentrate on them, not I am this and I am that, and here's what I did, and aren't I great? No, you're not great. You were there trying to get some work. So be humble. Be humble and realize who's in charge, and it's not you.
Well, Sherry Winston, tell people again where they can reach you to get your CDs, to get your books, to get your music business class.
And Willie, before I do that, I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to speak with you and to your audience. And I so appreciate it. People can go to my website at sherrywinston.com. Just think of wine and cigarettes.
Sherry, S-H-E-R-R-Y.
Sherry like the wine, S-H-E-R-R-Y. And Winston, like Winston cigarettes. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. So sherrywinston.com or Sherry Winston Band, B-A-N-D, @gmail. And that's the quickest way to reach me is through my email. And I promise I always get back to people.
Amen. Sherry Winston, you're just a gem and just a jewel of not just a musician extraordinaire, but also a person. Thank you. And I want people to get that cookbook and the music and the love and intimacy music that goes with it, they'll be glad they did. All right, folks, I want to thank you again. And I want to thank Truist again for being my partner. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. I want you to go to winwithwillie.com for resources to help you win more. I want you to join us every Monday night on the Jolly Marriage Show. My wife and I have a marriage show every Monday night on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and LinkedIn Live. Just follow us on A Jolly Marriage on all of those, A Jolly Marriage on all of those. And 9 o'clock every Monday night Eastern time, we talk about relationships. And remember, folks, that your best truly is yet to come. So we'll see you next week. And remember, you can if you think you can. And do what Sherry Winston said. Do the work and you'll win more. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. Make it a great week on purpose.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent. You can call on me when you need me. Call me. You can call on me. Call me. You can call on me. Pick up the phone. You can call and call me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.